Do you feel like work is eating your life? If you're buried in emails, meetings and tasks that make your brain melt, then keep watching. I'm going to tell you how to use AI at work in real ways that actually save you time and help you breathe again, with no tech skills needed. Now, before we get started, can I ask one small favour? If you like what I do here, can you please hit the subscribe button? That keeps me energized to bring you more content. Thank you very much. Let's get started. Here is tip number 1. Use AI to automate the boring stuff so you can focus on what really matters. Now, one of my students, Kelly, used to spend 3 hours every Monday just organising her team's weekly report every single week. I suggested that she plug her spreadsheet data into ChatGPT using a CSV format and then ask it to auto-write the summary. Now it only takes her 15 minutes. The myth is that you need fancy tech skills for automation, but the truth is all you need is a smart prompt and just 5 minutes of courage. If you're constantly typing the same email over and over, like following up on our meeting as the subject line, then you're burning out your brain on simple autopilot tasks. I recommend setting up 5 AI generated email templates in something like Text Expander or Gmail with Smart Compose. Now, if you write it once with intention, you'll save yourself hundreds of keystrokes a week. I've seen people physically sigh in meetings because they're tired of taking notes and they'll never read. So don't do that anymore. You can use tools like fireflies.ai to record, transcribe and summarize your meetings automatically. One of my clients, Lewis, stopped missing key follow-ups and actually started enjoying meetings because he could finally focus on the conversation. Now here's the truth that no one really tells you. Digital clutter is one of the biggest silent productivity killers. Now, if your Google Drive or your Dropbox cloud is a mess, AI tools like Levity can categorize, label and tag documents for you. I suggest setting this up once a Friday, and it will feel like you hired a personal assistant who's very well organized. Now, most people think using AI is about doing more, but the real flex is doing less and still winning. Your real job is the creativity, the decision making and the leadership, not just copy and pasting tasks. So I suggest you let AI handle the things that drain your energy so you can show up energized for what truly matters. Now, one simple trick for you is to write down every annoying and frustrating task that you have to do for a week, like formatting, naming files or replying noted. Then one by one just search for an AI tool that solves just that one specific thing. Now you'll be shocked at how fast the needle moves when you stop trying to overhaul everything and start automating one pain point at a time. Now, the thing that most people often get wrong is they wait until they're ready to start using AI, but readiness is really a myth. Action creates the clarity. You don't learn AI by actually studying it. You will learn it by asking it for help to help you with your next annoying task, and then see what happens and refine from there. Now, I have put together some free training resources to help you build an online income stream using AI. Go and click the link below in the description to learn more. Now back to the video. Let's now move on to tip number 2, which is to use AI to supercharge your communication. If your inbox gives you anxiety and you rewrite every email 5 times, that's not perfectionism, it's exhaustion. I recommend using ChatGPT to rewrite your next long email into something very clear, very simple and very respectful, with a tone that sounds just like you. Now, one of my clients, Darren, cut his email time in half and even started getting more responses just by sounding more human. If you want to know what actually sounds professional in 2025, it's not sounding like a corporate robot, it's sounding clear and kind. Now, I suggest you ask the AI to rewrite your message to sound confident and very helpful. You'll stop second guessing your tone, and the result is more respect, less confusion and way fewer back and forths. Now, you're not lazy for using AI to start your next presentation or proposal, you're just being more resourceful. You can use Notion AI or Jasper to create bullet points or draft slides for your next pitch. So think of AI as your creative jumpstart, not your final draft. It gets you from 0 to 70% very fast, and then you can finish it with your own insight and your soul. Now, if you manage a team, AI can help you send clear, emotionally intelligent updates that land really well. One of my clients, Amanda, used ChatGPT to draft a tough announcement to her team, and it helped her strike the right balance. of empathy and clarity. The old way was stress and overthinking. The new way is thoughtful drafts and confident delivery. Now, I don't want you to buy the myth that good communication is about sounding smart. It's about being understood. Use AI to remove the fluff and say what you mean, and your audience will actually thank you. Now, a smart way for you to reduce miscommunication is to run your long Slack messages or documents through ChatGPT, and then just ask ChatGPT, does this sound confusing or passive aggressive? And you'll get some honest feedback in a few seconds. Now, if you want to be a better communicator, this is your mirror. Communication is a mirror of your thinking. When you clarify your message with AI, you often clarify your own thinking too. And that's where the real transformation starts inside. Let's now move on to tip number 3, which is to use AI to solve problems in new ways that you'd never think of alone. Let me tell you about James. He's a product manager who kept running into the same internal roadblocks. So I suggested that he use ChatGPT as a thought partner to role-play different stakeholder objections. And the result was he walked into meetings 3 steps ahead, because he'd already pre-solved the objections before they even came up. Now, one thing I see all the time is smart people waiting for the right idea, but real innovators generate 50 average ideas first and then find the gold. AI is your shortcut to rapid fire brainstorming, so you can ask it for 20 bad ideas and mine the brilliance inside the chaos. I would suggest treating AI like a devil's advocate. You can ask ChatGPT, what's the worst case scenario if I follow this plan? Or what could go wrong here? You'll uncover blind spots before they become breakdowns. And that's how you become someone that people can trust. Now, if you want to be more strategic at work, you can use AI to zoom out. You can ask ChatGPT, how would a CEO look at this challenge? The thing that most people miss is that AI isn't just tactical. It can also shift your mindset when you ask it much better questions. The fastest way to get unstuck is to ask the AI to act like your favorite mentor or your expert. Now, one of my clients asked ChatGPT this question: what would Brené Brown say about this team conflict? And it actually helped her reframe the entire conversation. So sometimes just seeing a situation through a new lens changes everything. Now, you can use AI to simulate real world scenarios and make better decisions. You can ask it to map out the first 30 days of launching a new project or campaign. If you struggle with over-planning or some procrastination, this gives you a practical runway fast. Now, here's something wild but very true. The more uncomfortable your question, the better the transformation. So don't just use AI for surface level stuff. You want to ask it what your biggest blind spot is. Ask what your team secretly thinks. That kind of emotional intelligence is rare and it sets you apart. Let's now move on to tip number 4, which is to use AI to make smarter, faster decisions without burning out your brain. The biggest hidden cost at work is decision fatigue. You're making 100 tiny choices a day on what to prioritize, how to respond, and what to say in that Slack message. I recommend using AI to rank your to-do list by urgency and impact. It's like having a calm thinking partner when your brain is fried. Now, one of my students, Jenny, used to spend hours analysing small choices like which CRM to pick. So I showed her how to feed her options into ChatGPT and ask it for a pros and cons matrix based on her actual needs. Now, what took her 4 days now takes her just 20 minutes. That's not hype, that's just relief. So you can ask AI to model potential outcomes before you commit to a big project. Just ask ChatGPT, if I choose this option, what are the ripple effects? And you'll get clarity on long-term consequences, not just short-term wins, and that's what real leadership really looks like. Now, if you're the kind of person who knows you overthink, AI can help you break that loop. So get it to outline 3 different ways to move forward, and then just pick one that feels the lightest. The magic isn't in being right, it's in moving with confidence. You've been told that the best decisions come from your gut. I would not always go with that. Your gut is often often influenced by your fear and past trauma, or even your ego. So if you pair your instinct with clear-headed input from AI, and you'll make decisions that are sharp and more aligned. It's a good idea to let AI challenge your thinking every week. So you can pick one decision that you made and just ask ChatGPT, was there a smarter way to handle that? This builds a habit of reflection, and over time you'll notice that you make faster, calmer and more effective decisions. So don't forget to ask yourself, what would this look like if it were very easy? Then just ask AI the same question. You'll be shocked at how often complexity is a trap and simplicity is the real power move. Let me now give you tip number 5, which is to use AI to save hours on research so you can finally focus on the work that matters. Research is one of the sneakiest time traps at work. You open one tab to quickly check something, and 2 hours later you're still neck deep in 14 open tabs and still very confused. I suggest you let AI take the first pass. You can ask ChatGPT to give you a summary of a topic, a product, a competitor, or even an industry trend, and include the latest sources that you care about, like Forbes or Harvard Business Review, and you'll get some clarity in just a few minutes and not hours. Now Ben, one of my students who runs a small marketing team, used to spend half a day just pulling competitor insights before every pitch. I showed him how to use a tool called Perplexity.ai that pulls real-time cited research in just seconds. Now he walks into client meetings already armed with what's trending, what competitors are doing, and what gaps they're actually missing. He told me it made him feel like a strategist, not just a service provider. Now most people think AI is just for generating text, but here's where it gets more powerful. You can feed it dense PDFs, reports, or academic studies. Tools like ChatGPT, ChatPDF or Claude AI let you upload a document and ask questions like you're talking to an actual expert. So just imagine how much faster you could work if that 90-page industry white paper was turned into a 10-line summary with insights pulled just for your job. Now, if you ever waste time trying to sound smart when writing a proposal or strategy document, AI can help you with that too. I recommend using ChatGPT to find credible stats, studies, or real-world examples that can back up your ideas. For example, if you're pitching a wellness app and need current stress statistics, just ask ChatGPT to give me free research-backed stats on workplace stress in 2025, and it adds instant authority without the rabbit hole of Google. Now, one of my clients, Anita, is a copywriter who used to spend 3 hours just researching the tone of voice for new brands. I walked her through a prompt where she pastes in her client's website and asks ChatGPT to analyze their tone, their values, and their common language. Not only did it save her many hours, but it made her writing more on brand, and her client actually said it felt like they wrote it for themselves. Now, if you're doing market research, don't start with surveys or endless spreadsheets. Ask AI to simulate your target customer. Seriously, you want to try this. Act like a 35-year-old mum who shops online for eco-friendly skincare. What would you really care about? You'll get some insights that real humans really care about, and it'll help you build messaging or products that hit way closer to home. Now, here's the big myth I want to bust. Research is not supposed to feel like a grind. The real point of research is insight, not information overload. And when you let AI do the first 60 to 70%, you don't just save a lot of time, you actually make better decisions because your brain isn't cooked from mental clutter. Let's now move on to tip number 6, which is to use AI to eliminate repetitive tasks. Now let's be real, most of your time at work isn't spent on high-level creative thinking. It's probably eaten up by little mindless things that you wish you didn't have to do, like drafting follow-up emails, updating spreadsheets, creating reports, or even summarizing meetings. I recommend using AI tools like Zapier and OpenAI, Bardeen.ai, or even basic Notion AI to automate the small stuff, so your brain can finally breathe. Now James, one of my students who works in operations, used to spend 2 hours a day just pulling team updates and pasting them into Slack and weekly reports. After I showed him how to set up a Zapier automation using OpenAI, his updates now write themselves based on project data and task completions. He messaged me 2 weeks later saying, "I got my evenings back. That's the kind of transformation we're after. Less noise and more life." Now, if you ever find yourself retyping the same things over and over, there's a smarter way. You can use Text Blaze or Tactic to create AI-powered shortcuts. For example, you can type /follow-up and it will generate a polite, customized follow-up email that sounds like you wrote it fresh. Now, one of the best things you can do is build a small AI cheat sheet of phrases that you often like to use, like onboarding emails, meeting notes, or client intros, and let the AI reuse them with fresh context each time. Now, a smart way for you to reduce your meeting fatigue is using Otter.ai or Fafum to automatically transcribe and summarize your Zoom calls. You can highlight decisions, pull out action items, and even send out post-meeting summaries to your team without even lifting a finger. I had a coaching client named Carla who was drowning in back-to-back calls, and once she started using Fafum, she could skip the note-taking entirely, and she said it literally saved my sanity. Now, I would suggest that you use SaneBox or Superhuman to bring AI into your inbox. These AI tools automatically filter out the non-urgent emails, highlighting what matters, and can even write intelligent drafts or even quick replies. Now, when I tested this with a client who averaged 350 emails a day, yep, that's real, we cut her inbox time by over 70% in 1 week, and her response time actually improved. Now, don't forget to audit your weekly workflow and ask yourself this question: what am I doing that doesn't need a human touch? Anything repetitive, rule-based, or done more than 3 times a week can likely be automated or handled by an AI assistant. The thing you want to remember is this: busy doesn't mean productive. Freeing up your time isn't lazy, it's leadership. Now, the big mindset shift here is this: AI isn't here to replace you, it's here to remove the work that's beneath your potential. I've seen CEOs, solopreneurs, and 9 to 5 workers all get real wins from doing this. Like Maria, one of my students who used to burn out every Friday from juggling 10 low-value tasks. Now she automates her reports, her client check-ins, and even some scheduling. Her results didn't drop either, they actually got better because she finally had the energy and strategy and the creativity. Let me now give you tip number 7, which is to use AI as your creative collaborator so you can create faster without compromising quality. One of the biggest myths people believe is that creativity has to come from scratch every single time, but I want you to flip that on its head. Creativity isn't about starting from zero, it's about starting from some momentum. I recommend using AI like ChatGPT, Notion AI, or even Copy.ai to help you brainstorm ideas, outline some content, or create rough drafts that you can polish. You're still the visionary, but AI is your best creative jumping off point. Now, Sam, one of my students who's a freelance designer, used to dread writing captions for his portfolio and client emails. So I walked him through a prompt where he fed in his project details and tone of voice, and ChatGPT generated 5 high converting captions options for him within minutes. Now, instead of freezing at a blank page, he just picks one, tweaks it, and then moves on. It used to take him around 45 minutes to write just 2 lines. Now it takes him just 5 minutes, and he actually enjoys the process. Now, if you're stuck trying to create content, whether it's newsletters, presentations, client proposals, or even social media posts, then don't waste your time waiting for some inspiration to magically show up. A smart trick for you is to feed the AI your past content and ask it to remix, repurpose, or upgrade it. Now, one of my clients, Janelle, runs a wellness brand and used this to turn one blog post into a full email sequence, 3 Instagram posts, and a client onboarding script. She called it repurposing on steroids. Now, the key thing I want you to remember is this: creativity isn't a one-player game anymore. The smartest creators out there and professionals I know are using AI like a co-pilot, not to replace their ideas, but to actually refine and accelerate them. So when you collaborate with AI, you stop feeling like you're constantly behind. You start showing up more consistently, with better ideas and more confidence, and with less stress. That shift alone can be a game changer for your career or your business. Well, that's it for this one. 7 powerful tips that you can start using right away. Now, if you're serious about building your online business and creating a sustainable online income, take the next step now. Click the link below in the description or in the comments and go through to my website where you can find some free training resources to help you get started right away. These free step-by-step resources are designed to guide you through launching a successful online business and generating online income streams. So don't wait, take action today. Click the link below and start your journey right now. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does energize and motivate me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to connect on social, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and have a wonderful day.